Hey guys, Domboy601, and today we're taking a look at the brand new campaign ship, the Hayate. As always, Wargaming has provided the ship as part of being in the community contributor program, so take all of my reviews with a grain of salt. I guess if you haven't been around for one of these reviews, we're going to go cover the ship, cover the mods, the stats, the commander, go through the build, then show off a game in her, and talk about kind of how you want to play this ship. So if that sounds interesting, make sure you stick around, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know down below, is this one of those campaigns you'll be purchasing? Or are you just not a destroyer person and therefore this has no bearing on your being whatsoever? Okay, so Hayate, let's just dive on in. Like I said, it is the campaign for this Thanksgiving season, this one, the fall season, I guess, campaign. We can call it that, the one before Christmas, the one before the long Christmas one. So, Hayate, what is she? She's a hybrid sort of boat. Torpedo launchers that are very effective, guns that are surprisingly effective. As far as who I have manning the ship, well, I am running good old Takeo Kurita. I find building into the guns is the best way to go with this ship. Inspirations we're running are Eric Bay and Vincent Mordoff, and then our skills are Observant Rage, Mortar, Perceptive, Smoke on the Water, and Unstoppable. And of course, Kurita's base trait is going to boost the engine boost cooldown time. So nothing too big in that one, but I think building for the guns is the best sort of strategy with this ship. As far as the mod slots go, well, in the first mod slot, we are running Aiming System Mod 1. In the second mod slot, we are running Propulsion Mod. In the third mod slot, we are running Concealment Systems. And finally, we are running that main battery mod. You could also build this ship for torpedoes. I just find, like I said, the guns a bit more consistent, a bit more overall effective. As far as the consumables go, so first one, you got the damage control party. You know it, you love it. It's the one that you know. And then it's going to last 5 seconds, reload in 40 seconds. Then you have the choice between the smoke generator, which is going to last for 20.8 seconds, disperse for 92.6 seconds, reload in 240 seconds to get 2 charges of it, or you can get a torpedo reload booster, i.e. being able to instantly reload your torpedoes or within like 8 seconds. So let's be clear, that's pretty much instant, and that's a tough choice, basically how you want to build this ship. I'm running it currently with smoke. I think that's just the more effective play here. Finally, you have the engine boost. It's going to boost the max speed of the vessel by 8%, going to last 2 minutes. It's going to recharge in 170.8 seconds, and then you're going to get 2 charges of it. So not like a full load of consumables, but there's plenty of utility for yourself. You're not providing a lot of utility for your team. This is very much a go out there, try to do the damage sort of destroyer. So with all that said, let's go ahead and dive on into the stats. First things first, hit points. You're looking at 20,800 hit points with an armor thickness between 6 and 20 millimeters. Let's go ahead and take a look at that armor view. And guys, it's a destroyer. There's not much to cover here. 19 millimeters on the bow, on the side plating, on the deck, with lighter armor up in that superstructure, but pretty much all over this ship is just kind of coated in 19 to 20 millimeters, so nothing really too surprising or, you know, that's going to put up much of a resistance to being damaged. Torpedo reduction of the vessel, you're looking at a whopping 0%. Main battery, one of the great things about this ship, 3 2-barreled 127mm guns with a firing range of 10.7 kilometers. Kind of low for the destroyers at the tier. Reload time is going to be 3 seconds with this build, making it a pretty decent gunboat. 120 rounds per minute with a 180 time of 11.5 seconds. HE damage is going to be 2,602, giving you a DPM of 312,240 and a 9% chance to set fire. To compare that to like the Sumner, which I think you would call maybe the king. You could talk about Delny, but Delny received a nerf. But I think like the king of up close gunboats is Sumner. Sumner, you're doing 345,000 DPM, and you're only 30,000 off, essentially, which is very much a respectable number to be away from such a highly regarded gunboat. AP damage, you're looking at 2,662 damage with a DPM of 319,440. Torpedoes, the other really strong thing on this ship. Two 5-barreled 533 millimeter torpedoes with a reload time of 153 seconds. Really long reload time, but these things hit like a truck. You'll see in the B-roll, we hit some battleships with them, and you just chunk them. You just chunk them for huge amounts of damage. 23,767 damage. It's massive. It's just massive. Detectability range on them, 1.7 kilometers with a torp speed of 67 knots and a range of 12 kilometers. So your torps outrange your main guns in this vessel. So you can absolutely kind of throw the torps out in a zoning fashion just because of how long range they are. Mind you, there's going to be a big gap by the time they get out to those ranges. And also, you know, if anyone moves at all, they're going to be far off. And also, you know, it takes nearly forever to reload them. I would call it respectable for a destroyer. 5 kilometer range, 43 damage up close, 112 damage at or 43 damage at the farthest range, 112 once you get up close. So I'd say decent for a destroyer. Max speed of the vessel, 37 knots with a turning radius of 750 meters and a rudder shift time of 5.1 seconds. Finally, concealment of the vessel. With our gun build, that's not concealment based. 5.7 by sea, 3 by air, 2.5 firing and smoke. I think those are absolutely doable concealment numbers at the tier. You know, it will be a little bit tougher to go after full concealment build boats, but it's not too bad, right? You're really only losing about 0.7 of a kilometer, right? 5 kilometers kind of the stealth ship build. So I think it's real respectable as far as concealment goes. And guys, that's the stats of Hayate. Let's go ahead and dive on in to a match with her. So welcome to Northern Waters. We are over here on the left-hand flank. Of course, we are rocking that Hayate. Hayate, like I said, she is a hybrid boat. She has very strong, or pretty decent guns, very strong torpedoes, and, well, what does she give up for it? I would say it's her utility. Usually the hybrid boats, I'm looking at you, the Germans, I'm looking at you, the British, they get some more utility for being not too strong in the guns and not too strong in the torpedoes, right? They get the sonar, they get the Brits get fantastic smokes. And what Hayate has is, because she has relatively strong, I'd say like top 60, top 70% torps, top 60, top 70% guns, like she's up there in both of them, especially when you can hit your shots and make them land. What you end up giving up for that power is going to be that utility. In this case, it's stuff like you don't have a sonar, because, you know, Japanese boats don't tend to have a sonar. It's just hybrid boats tend to have more utility with them. So that's kind of what you're giving up for Hayate. But what that means is you are, you know, able to do a good amount of things. So we've come off to the edge right here because we wanted. One, we had the twist and track kind of telling us someone was going wide, and two, we didn't want to give away our position by going into A. So Delny pulls off here, and you can see we are absolutely losing this fight right here, mainly because, well, there is that Minotaur out there. We're going to go ahead, pop our smoke, and start trying to engage this Delny. Delny's still being lit. I don't know if it's if he has line of sight from our other teammates, or if it's our Des Moines is using his radar as of current. But we're going to go ahead, try to kind of whittle down this Delny. And as you saw in that early trade, we didn't do too well. One of the things you have to kind of conceptualize with the Hayate is it's a ship designed to run away. If you notice, 2 of the guns are on the rear of the vessel, and therefore it much prefers to have its rear pointed towards the enemy, which means if you're going out there hunting enemy ships, you kind of have to do a turn, you have to give your broadside, you have to give the ability just to get slapped in those critical sections where they can get almost like full pens and full damage, which means if you're not careful, you can end up losing a ton of your health like we did there, right? We lost 14,000 damage there. Thankfully, our teammates had our support. If you don't have the support in Hayate, it could be very bad for you. So this is one of the things. So what are we doing here? Well, we can see another enemy destroyer piloted by fellow community contributor Hivehound is kind of pushing in towards the cap. He's in the brand new Daring, a destroyer that needs to be feared, and a fantastic destroyer at that. But we can also see our Shimakaze is kind of in the thing, and I think Hive has the RPF indicator on the Shima, and that's why he's kind of pushing in this aggressively. So our idea here is hopefully he's going to overextend a little, and when he does, concentrate on the Shima, and we can hopefully concentrate on him, try to get him knocked down. As you can see, we're doing some very good damage. When there's another broadside ship, we do great. We're going to test out the AP here on an enemy ship. We can see we do pretty decent damage. He starts concentrating back on us. We're going to flip back over to HE as he starts to turn out, and thankfully, that's that. Hayate, the HE shells are pretty powerful, so they do give us the ability to sort of really do some damage, especially when we are up close with another ship. RPF also telling us there is someone coming around this corner right here. Our friend the Delny has returned. We're going to try to keep this island between us and him, and then we are just going to dump our torps in widespread and just as fast as we can. We want to get around the corner here, and oh, hello, Mr. Minotaur. Well, looks like he's not wanting to concentrate on us, even though we are spotted. I think the torpedoes are occupying the Delny at the moment, hence why we're not taking any fire from him. And Minotaur right here, not wanting to look at his minimap because he could easily turn those turrets and absolutely blap us. But he's more concerned with the Des Moines, and we'll let him be as we take this cap, and we're going to start just trying to do some damage. Doing decent damage with the HE. We're going to try out the AP right here. Broadside ships, it's always fun to try to test out the AP. We can see we're getting a couple too many shatters for my liking, so we're going to go ahead and flip back over to the HE just because we want to get this Minotaur down. He is a huge threat to us. We can see he's healing back up. He has taken down our Des Moines, which is unfortunate. We get a fire started on him, which is what we want at this moment. So he drops spot there. We're like, okay, let's take this moment, rest, reset, figure out what we're going to do. Uh-oh, battleship pushing in over on the other side. We got to keep our head on the swivel. It's a Musashi. We still have a minute left until we can go ahead and drop torps. This would be a perfect time to be able to drop those torps. What we're going to do instead is try to get out of the range. As you can see, we've gotten the cap, but we need to get out of that detection range of the Musashi. We have 10 seconds left until our last smoke is alive, and then we should be able to continue to engage this Musashi. It looks like our team is spotting him for us, so if we can set the smoke, we will be able to just burn him down, because Hayate's HE fire is fantastic, and of course, our battleship goes behind the island. It no longer draws a straight line, and we're like, crap. I was really hoping Musashi here would fire his main gun so that we'd get some spotting through the smoke right here. Of course, as we pop out here, we can see Minotaur. We've set up the flare, right? If we're looking at the map, we've set up the flare. We've rang the dinner bell. We're like, hey, Mino, we are right here, happily sitting in our smoke. Just come towards us, and he is absolutely booking towards us. So what we're going to do, pop out of the smoke here, get eyes on him, and try to start sailing down. Try to keep him spotted for our team, because right now the game is, well, it was close. Now it's 3v6, 3v2. It was close in my defense. I was like, I don't want to throw this away by being done with this Minotaur. What we'll do is get out, try to keep him spotted for our team. We'll try to play some shenanigans with the smoke, because, you know, it's always fun to have some fun with the shenanigans of the smoke. We'll pop out right here and then just try to get at a place where we can keep him spotted once our smoke screen once it disperses, and once there's no more cover being provided by it. We're gonna go ahead and dump our torps into the smoke screen in case he wants to use it as cover. We're also gonna widespread it on the cap in case he wants to try to push and try to get the cap, because at this moment we have 2 of the caps and we are capping B. So the smart play may be to try to get into A, smoke up, wait for the sonar to come back, then try as people kind of push into you, depending on his build. If he has like tier wit or whatever, you can run the smoke 24/7. We're trying to play the odds right here, right? So Mino, we see he's gone ahead, pushed in. He did a little bit of a little bit movement here and there, and we're right at the edge of detectability right here. So we do need to be careful, making sure we are sailing away from him, because our speed differential isn't that much. If we get into too many shenanigans, we will get caught by Minotaur, and he will just blast us with a couple of shells, right? There is not much health that we have left. We go ahead and pop the engine boost to keep us keep that pace delta above, right? We're able to extend that gap between us and Minotaur. Also, we're kind of hoping he's just going to start chasing us. We can see we're kind of leading him out to the killing field with our battleship, and that's fine by us. We don't have smoke for concealment, but, you know, at this point, he's so low. If we can go ahead and lead him out, we'll get some hits on him. He's actually popping smoke right here, and he's coming to a full stop, which is fine by us, which means we can go ahead, kind of mark his position in our head, and maintain this blind fire position. We get the first fire on him, and we're just going to keep on sending shells. We're getting hits on him in the smoke, but our teammates end up finishing him off there, and that's the end of the match. As far as our final result, I think we're well over 3,000 XP for a pretty decent game. And guys, that's Hayate. I really enjoy the ship. I've been having fun with it. I think it's well worth the campaign price, and I would recommend it, especially if you're a DD player. So guys, if you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.